welcome back to our channel.
Hi.
Hey. But we are back with another episode, and I'm kind of excited because I feel like this is just getting back to kind of how Keep Your Kookee started.
Yeah? In what way?
And,
In what way?
you know, you answering questions, coming to
Oh,
college.
yes. This is a bit of a preview.
Being
She's
a
giving you a little
part
bit of a preview.
of my friends' dating lives, relationships, everything in between you we're giving input on.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna do today.
So we're happy and excited to introduce a new segment called
I'm okay.
I'm Okay, but
It really means
if your mom only knew. Yep, we said it. If
But
your
isn't
mom
that
only
cute?
knew.
If your mom only knew, and its acronym is I'm okay.
I'm okay.
And if your mom only knew, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, and
At
she is too. And
At
she
least
is
that's
too.
our goal. And
Yeah.
through answering your questions, through having these conversations, we want you and your mom to become okay.
Yep.
So,
All right, so we're gonna get into it. We're gonna
Yeah.
do it. I'm so excited.
yeah.
And thank you for your DMs. So we're going to answer some questions that we got on
Our Instagram page.
on the Instagram.
You can click on the highlight portion on the Instagram page and you can DM us yourselves if you have any other questions, or leave them down below in the comments of the YouTube video if you have questions you want us to answer. But we're gonna start answering your DMs and doing these episodes. So if we pick you, we want your responses below.
Yes, yes. So, but feel free. Listen, put them in the
Or you
comment
can
section.
DM us too if you feel like you
Yeah,
wanna
you can
talk
do
about
either
it
one. Put them in the
privately.
comment section or drop it in the DMs. We seem to get a lot in the DMs, so that's cool. That's okay too.
And I guess they want to stay anonymous.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your mom's business out there, or you don't want your daughter's business out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, we're building this community of everybody being a part of this journey.
Yeah.
So,
But we're here for you. We're here for it all. This is a mother-daughter movement, so keep them coming. We're excited. We're excited.
and we're getting a lot of men following, which is a little surprising,
And
you know?
yeah.
But I guess, you know, men also want to make sure that mothers and daughters are healed too. So we appreciate you
yes, we do.
for
we
supporting
do.
the Kookee family.
We do. And feel free to comment as well. Feel free to comment. So again, we're here for it. We're happy. We're happy to have this conversation. It means a lot.
Yeah, it's a
It means a lot.
beautiful thing.
All right, I'm gonna go first. I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll read. This is from a
Okay.
daughter. I love this. So, okay, it starts off. Okay, so don't judge me, but I'm sliding into y'all's DMs because I cannot ask my mom this. I think you can ask your mom this, but that's okay. We're gonna answer it anyway.
We will see.
Okay, you said we'll see. Okay. She still thinks the only man I should be dating is Jesus. I love that so much. I can relate. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, no, you.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, how do you know if a guy is actually good for you and not just good at texting back on time and looking fine in a fitted tee? Nothing wrong with a fitted tee. I wish I could ask my mom, but the last time I mentioned a date, she brought up celibacy, church, and my biological clock,
Okay.
all in one breath. Wow. Okay. We don't really have the let's talk about it, love and feelings kind of relationship. More like, here's a prayer and a Pinterest quote. How do you ask for real dating advice from someone who sees romance as a slippery slope to sin? Ooh, a slippery slope to sin. I know, right?
Well, first we want to say thank you for writing in.
Yes.
And giving us this question and trusting us to give you an answer.
Yes.
But I think the first thing to remember is that this is a marathon between you and your mom. And maybe right now you feel like it's not an emotionally safe place to be
But you can get there.
asking her these types of questions.
But you can get there.
But that will happen with time.
Yeah, you can totally get there. You can totally get there. Sometimes, you know, sometimes us moms, listen, we talk about this all the time, right? Our goal is to break some generational curses and strongholds that suggested that you don't talk about this kind of stuff, right? And you certainly don't talk about it with your daughter, or you don't talk about it with your mother. And so we want to break all of that. So you have to start, right? You have to start. And she might clutch her pearls. Listen, she might clutch her pearls. Mom, only clutch them one time and then let it go and be free. We really want you to be free. There's such power in sharing information with your daughter and hopefully ensuring that your daughter doesn't make the same mistakes that you made, because we made them. And it's okay. They still love us. They still respect us. So,
and I also think your daughter has legitimate questions about her dating experiences. If your only answers are celibacy, church, your prayer group, if she wanted to get the answers from church, she'd go to church and get the answers.
Yeah.
She's asking you because she wants your honest opinion, not the fact that you want to give almost like a sugary answer to not have to talk about your own things.
Listen, we have to go there. We have to go there. And you have taught me the importance of going there, and that I think it would surprise a lot of moms that you guys want to hear all of the juice from our dating lives. So this question was, how do I know if this guy's actually good for me, or am I just overdoing it because he's texting back on time and just doing, and looking good and making me feel good? So, texting back on time and looking good, by the way, are two good qualities. Okay,
they are, but that doesn't mean
right. But almost by the nature of the question, I think you know that you deserve something deeper and richer. And listen, when we talk about the importance of this relationship and you getting comfortable with asking questions, with being your true self, it's important because it carries over into your other relationships, a la this one with this guy.
Yes.
Right? So the fact that you have questions about, can I really talk about this with my mom? I'm suggesting that also might be holding you back
from asking the questions with him,
from asking him the real questions that allow you to know, right? Like, is there depth here?
Yeah.
I mean, he smells good, he looks good, all that's flesh.
But if he runs away when you're asking the tough questions, that's your answer.
Yeah.
And we don't need to chase men. And their actions are going to tell us what they mean.
And remember, this is Keep Your Cookie, okay? So one of the ways in which you can clearly discern is when you take flesh out of the relationship. Then you can go there and have real conversations, get into it, ask some, get to know who he is.
And appreciate how he looks when he's wearing a tight shirt too.
Listen, it's all good, okay? Because that matters, because you're gonna be looking at him for a very long time. Hopefully, right, if he's the one for the rest of your life. So attraction, nothing wrong with attraction. You want to feel good and be attracted to your partner, but we want to go deeper. Right?
I think as it relates to your question and not being able to talk about these things with your mom, you may have to probe her and say, hey, when you were dating, did you date a guy from the outside looking in? He had all of the qualities that you thought would make a good partner, but being in the relationship, you had a little bit of doubts. And maybe she's not comfortable just offering her past dating experiences, but you're gonna have to probe a little bit to be like, okay, I'm dating this guy, his name is Tom.
Shout out to Tom.
And Tom treats me this way, Monday through Wednesday, this way, Thursday through Sunday. And I'm just not sure. Did you date a guy that was similar to Tom? Because in some ways, when you would be sharing your dating experiences with me, then I'm calling you sometimes being like, hey, the guy that I'm dating right now reminds me of the guy that you dated when you were X, Y, and Z. Like, do you see any similarities? Like, what are something that you feel like you missed that you don't want me to miss right now?
Yep.
And so from there, then you're able to have a dialogue about the similarities, the differences. And she's
That's so
maybe
true.
gonna make some comments about celibacy, and you can remind her you are keeping your cookie, so she'll need to comment about that every single time.
And listen, it's conversation. So she will have her perspectives. We do hope you're keeping your cookie, by the way. But, you know, you can also say, Mom, I want to have a different relationship with you, right? Like, I'm now an adult. I want our friendship or our relationship to evolve.
Yes.
And she won't be expecting that.
No.
Again, it might take her a minute, but extend that and extend her some grace too, right? But say it, put it on the table, and then have her react and come back to it, because it's important. And as Falyn said, it's not
A sprint.
it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So, you know, it might take 3 or 4 or 5 times, but I promise you, she's in there. She wants the best for you, even if she, you know, might not know quite how to express it in modern terms. But just know she wants the best for you. So,
And since we're on this topic as well, because her mom clearly has a strong faith,
Yep.
then you can ask your mom to pray for you through your dating life, through your dating experiences, to help give you clarity. If she's uncomfortable, then she can use, you know, her prayer power to help you through this process too.
It's about building a relationship, right? Like, yeah.
Maybe through that you can like be like, hey, now Mom, maybe you can send a prayer to like let me know if how he's acting is actually like the way that he should be acting. And then that's also a way that you can help to share things with her, and she can think about them, process them, and then come back later.
Just keep coming at it, right? Come at it. Try this way, try that way. Sometimes we operate off of assumptions, right? Like we're assuming, oh, she'll never talk to me about that, or she's not interested in talking to me about that. And it might be that she's just not conditioned to talk to you about that, right? Like again, her mother didn't talk to her in that way. She may be embarrassed, and so you might have to free her up. Like let her know. Take one of these snippets, right? And share it with your mom. Say, Mom, let's watch this.
Yep.
Right? Let's watch this together.
And then let's talk about
And then let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Lord knows I have told some stories, right? Like, some moments where if I could get them back and do it differently, Lord knows I would.
But there were fun moments to be listening to and to be had, and you know, all the things. So we wish you luck.
Absolutely.
On the start of your marathon with your mama.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
I think I want to read a mom question.
Okay.
So, okay. This mom wrote in, hi, long-time listener, first-time DMer. You sound like a mom.
Hey, what's that mean? What are you trying to say?
I'm Claudia, 50, and I need help before I turn into a mother-in-law meme. My daughter brought home this guy who, how do I put this nicely, has the charm of a wet sock and the ambition of a houseplant.
Okay.
He eats all my snacks, calls me dude, and once tried to explain
what's up with this dude?
And once tried to explain crypto to me like I was 12. I've smiled through it, but I'm running out of wine and patience. How do I tell my daughter I'm not a fan without sounding like I want to banish him to another continent?
Dude. Okay, first of all, seriously, I wish you might bring somebody up in here calling me dude.
If they called you dude, you'd be like, next.
And there's the door, right?
Next.
I would be like, Falyn, come get this person.
Well, you'd be like, sorry, no. You can call me by my last name. It'd be like a Mrs. And then there would be no like, oh, hi, Falyn's mom. No, nope, Mrs. first and foremost.
No, I don't like to be super uber formal, but I wish you might call me dude, right? Don't call me dude. Like there's this whole thing. Somebody else I was talking with was trying to convince me that their own kid calls them dude. No, it's a no. It's a no for me.
The only way I feel like if that's like funny, if it's like you're watching something and there's like if you just watched a comedy show and the guy was like, dude, and then maybe you're like, dude, but that would be about it.
No, it's dude and bruh. Bruh. Your brother tried that with me one time. Bruh. No. I looked around. I was like, who are you talking to? I know you're not talking to me. No.
You're like one of your friends must be
Right,
around
bruh.
here.
Mm-mm.
I think also though, I mean, listen, you and I are very protective of each other. Like if the guy that I was dating, if I heard him call you dude, I'd be like, excuse me?
Right, exactly.
Like
It's very
I
true.
like I would
Yeah, I don't
be-
think I would actually have to say
like,
anything. I think
be
you would be mortified.
I would be like, what?
Yeah, that's insane.
So I think in some ways,
Yeah.
there's also the aspect of what you and your daughter have to kind of have, like, we have our code words, we have our code eyes when you're meeting someone for the first time, I'm meeting someone for the first time, you know, it's like, trying to help get them away from me.
So listen, the daughter is clearly not keying into that, so they're in a different place. She wants to be able to communicate. So how would you want to hear that from me? Like, because listen, I would from jump, right? Like, so you would have already asked me what did I think? And so I would have, you know, openly shared that the way he is speaking to me and his comfort level so early in the relationship, I would find concerning. I
admire how much patience you do have. I know you would not have that same level of patience. You'd be like,
I would do it nicely though. I would do it nicely,
but you
right?
would come to me.
But he'd call me bruh. He'd call me dude one time, right? I'd have been like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, come again? No. See, in this house, right? There are no women are called dudes. That would have been one time.
I think the other thing is a lot of times, I mean, okay, if I take the guys that you have known that are not for me, and I'm kind of like, I like him, and you're like, okay. The really, really bad one.
Which one? The last one? The one?
No, that wasn't really bad.
Which one?
I think like horrible, like my worst ever. It was probably like high school, like after I broke up with what's his face, and then you were like, I don't know, you were going through a phase, and he just hit you by.
Oh yeah. Woo, he got lucky. Oh my gosh.
And then I woke
we were
up,
like,
and then I woke up, and it was like, and you were like, hallelujah.
I was like, wait, so you showed, oh goodness, I do remember that. Okay.
So if I take, like I'm just trying to think about like how much you could not stand him. You were like, how he held your hand. You were like, I'm gonna throw up in my mouth. Like, you know, like it just didn't.
Yeah, he had no. He was not it. He was not it.
It was.
So, and I was like, okay. So it was very, in the moment. So nobody was the wiser when I was introduced, but I knew from jump, right?
Yes.
And so then, so you were like, so Mom, what do you think? And I was like, right? I was like, he's not what I expected.
Whenever you start like that in my head, I'm like, oh.
And you're like, well, why do you say that? Blah, blah, blah. Then you started going on like telling me why he,
and I was trying
all
to,
these things, and I was like,
and you're like, that's great.
Yeah,
he's
I was
still
like,
not what I was expecting for you.
Yep, just not what I was expecting. So I look forward, right? Where I was
getting to know him
better.
I
was like, I look forward to getting to know him better because it's definitely not what I was expecting. And then you're like, yes, and you were like, yeah, you're gonna see, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, all right, well,
But I think in those moments, you are good at giving me things to think about as to, okay, so in terms of personalities, you were like, I know that in long run, they're not going to work. She's in some weird trance right now. Like my daughter is, I don't know. You were like, maybe you're so heartbroken after the breakup that you're now, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
But you were like, okay. And then you would ask me questions like, so what does he think about, okay, whatever, like sports teams, like whatever, like something that like, you were like, this is something that I know
is really important
to you.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked about that? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, he doesn't agree. And you were like, are you okay with that? And I was like, I'm not sure. And then little bit by little bit.
Yeah, and then I would just leave it there.
Yeah.
And I would leave it there, right? Like I didn't like press. And I would just leave it there. And I'd be like, oh, okay. And then I would like walk away and leave it there. And then like a few days later, I would come back and
you would ask follow-up questions.
Yeah, and then just kind of leading you to think about the things that you had shared with me previously.
Yes.
Right? So I would say, oh, well, you know, so I know this is important to you.
Yeah.
So
or we're like, oh, when you were dating what's his face, and you know that was like a really big.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Be like, it's okay. Like maybe that's not gonna happen this time, and I'd be like,
yeah. And then leave it.
And then
mom. You say a little bit, and then you leave it, right? You know deep in your soul, right? Like this ain't gonna work, and you cannot wait, and you want it to hurry up and get there, but you must leave it.
But
right? Say a little bit and leave it, because she has to come to the conclusion.
Yes.
Because the more, then she'll be resisting me.
Yes.
Right? And so just like say a little bit and then leave it. Yeah. Say a little bit more and then leave it.
Yeah. I remember. Okay, you remember in college when I was dating that guy?
Okay.
Before.
The code is coming.
Before my boyfriend.
Okay.
Before my boyfriend.
Okay.
And he was very much moving things along.
Okay.
And I was kind of like, I don't know.
Okay.
And then you were like, okay, like what is his mindset? Like how does he carry himself? And we're talking about like he took me to this event, and I like how he was acting. I was a little bit like surprised by.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay, well, after that relationship ended, you were like, well, duh, based on what you told me from the jump, I know that that's not going to work, because like you feeling secure in the relationship and like how he was treating you in that way, it was an absolute no. But I can't tell you, run for the hills.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, well, how he's acting in this moment, in this event, when it's his event, is going to tell you a lot about things moving forward. And if this is about him in this moment, and he's treating you this way, imagine when it's just something that you guys are doing for fun, and
or it's about you,
or it's about me, and you know, we worked through it, and then I was like, hell no.
And then you leave it, and then you leave it.
Yes.
Right.
You would let me sit with things for a while.
Yep. And then you leave it.
And okay, I'm gonna come on the daughter's side.
Okay.
If I think about how many mother-daughter arguments like my friends and I have like been privy to, or through this process getting DMs from girls about, the back and forth, like the mom, sometimes you want her to see your perspective so bad.
And you know, and you listen, and you know, okay? As the mother, you know you have already come to that conclusion, and you actually don't want her wasting her time.
Yes. So I think the biggest thing is you would give space for me to process things, and you wouldn't force it down my throat. Yeah. And a lot of DMs that I've been getting is from the daughters, is how much there's like moms are fighting with their daughters to almost like force them to see their side. And
but we mean well. Listen.
No, I'm not.
Because we mean well, and we don't want you to waste your time.
Yes.
Right? Because we already know he is not the one. This needs to just, right? Like, we already know this. We already know it. Stop. I took off the bow. Somehow, the bow is gone. Is that gonna be funny when you re-edit it and it's back in? It'll be back there. It's gone and it'll be back. Should I say something about the bow?
Sure.
Okay, I don't know what happened to my bow, but it's back now. So, okay. No, but we mean well. We just don't want you to waste your time. That's all. Like, we don't want you to waste your time. And we could see it oftentimes faster than you can.
But screaming and yelling and almost trying to like forbid your daughter. And also, if she's an adult, how are you gonna forbid her from seeing a guy that you don't like?
Okay, listen.
So like, let's be so for real, okay?
Okay.
Because that ain't gonna end well.
Listen. Okay, listen. I don't care that we don't care that y'all are adults. You will always be our babies. And in some cases we know you better than you know. In some cases we know you better than you know yourself.
And you can be just as stubborn as you can be, digging your heels in, and then we don't get anywhere. So I get. Listen, yes, you're right that you can see it. But in order for the daughter to sometimes be able to get on board, you can't try to push her down the hall and say, leave him.
It's hard.
Awful.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard, but we have to do it, Mom. We just, just drop it and then let it sit. And then she will come back. 9 out of 10 times you would come back and be like, okay, so Mom, why did you say such and such?
Yes, because you would just be like, I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm just gonna leave that there and we'll talk later. And I'm like, Mom, you're like, nope, I have to go to the store. Nope, I'm so sorry, I need to hang up now. And I'm like, Mom,
it won't work.
Like,
it won't work unless you come to the conclusion yourself. It won't work.
This
much I know. This much I know, right? Because again, I don't want you trying to prove me wrong.
Yes.
Right? And staying in something much longer than you need to be. Okay. So maybe that's a little bit of psychology. Yes.
But we really got, I'm sorry, Claudia, we got on a really
long
tangent.
Okay, we didn't answer Claudia's question.
We answered the question, but we didn't. Okay. One of I think the biggest thing here is she does not like her daughter's boyfriend.
And how does she tell her?
She should tell her.
She should tell her.
And
definitely tell her.
You have to tell her.
But in increments, right? So don't don't lay him out, but express the fact that, here's what I see. So what I would be saying to you, to be like, Mom, so what do you think? Well, I would be like, well, Falyn, here's what I see. His interactions with me, particularly calling me dude, make me concerned about his maturity level.
Yes.
Right? Makes me concerned about his exposure level.
And you'd be like, if that's what he's calling your mother.
Right. And so if he chooses to call your mother dude.
I think we have bigger problems.
Right. That's a problem. Right. So that would be 1. 2, she's also concerned about his ambition, which, you're going to know more about his ambition. Sometimes nervousness can come into play in terms of what he might express to me as your mother, right? He might be feeling like if it's not perfect, he doesn't want to share it. And so... But
then you'd be asking me probing questions.
I would. But, I really also believe in the power of when a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing. So his ambition will be amplified because he is connected with you, right? So he needs to have some, don't get me wrong. He needs to have some. And he needs to, he might not have it all figured out.
Because you can trust that your daughter is going to also make an impact on him.
For sure. And if he can't handle that, then he's not the one, right? He's not the one. So you want to just express, right? Like tell the truth, but in a way that is digestible. If that makes sense. And sometimes you're so eager, you want so badly, to get her out of that situation. And you just want her to hear you. And sometimes you just want to shake her and be like, what are you doing? But it's not a marathon, or it is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yes.
And so know that you've got multiple times to come at this and to have multiple conversations and to make it palatable for your daughter to hear you. Because you do not want her trying to prove you wrong as the mother, because she will stay in something a lot longer than she needs to stay in.
I also think if you have never shared about your own dating experiences, maybe this guy that she's dating reminds you of a very toxic ex or a bad relationship that you had, and you're like, I see all the warning signs, all the alarm bells are going off, then you maybe need to share that story with her. Not right after he leaves, but
maybe right after he leaves. It's okay. Maybe right after he leaves. Shoot. Yeah, maybe right after he leaves. This is a good one. Okay. All right.
Is it a daughter question or a mother question?
This is a daughter question. Okay. This is a long one. I need to get something off my chest because my mind is spinning and I don't know if I'm thinking clearly. I've always been the type to take things slow, to play it safe. That is before Marcus. I had only been with one person, and honestly, I thought I knew what intimacy was. I thought I understood connection, but now I feel like I've stepped into a whole new world. And I don't know if I'm in love with him or just with how he makes me feel. From the moment we got together, it was different. He's confident, experienced, and completely unafraid to take the lead. We like that. He looks at me, we like that, right? Yeah. He looks at me like he knows my body better than I do. It's like he's unlocking parts of me I didn't even realize were closed off. And the way he moves, the way he knows is intoxicating. I feel awakened, alive, and more connected to myself than ever before. It was hot reading this one, boy, I tell you. Okay.
I mean, also, you read things and you add like color to it, you know, like
I can like see it in my mind. Okay. So here's the rest of it. But here's where I get stuck. Is this love? Is this what it feels like when you've met your person? Or am I just lost in the thrill of something I've never had before? He tells me I'm special, that what we have is rare. And I want to believe him, but I also know passion can cloud judgment. So tell me, how do I know if he's my husband or if he's just my lesson? Tanya. Is he my husband or if he's just my lesson? That is good.
I mean, there's a lot there. There's a lot to that question.
Okay, so Tanya's having some really good sex. Okay, so Marcus is putting it on her. But sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I mean, okay, if we go along with what you're saying, I think, not that I haven't had the P and the V, okay? We all know this. But I have had some experiences. I have had some moments where the flesh can get to going and things that you're normally thinking are just, a casual whatever. Like certain guys I think are good at just awakening certain parts of you. Not necessarily that they are your husband or husband material, but when the flesh is fleshing, it's kind of hard to tell the difference because you have all these endorphins, you're giddy, you have adrenaline, it's exciting, and that's fun.
So first of all, Tanya, thank you for all of this detail and this backstory. I
get a good image.
We get very
great
good
picture.
Images. I hope all the cookies are getting really good images. So because Marcus, hats off to you. Marcus, you know who you are, although we didn't say the state. We didn't do that on purpose.
We will never say this.
Yeah, where this message came from. But it is all about the flesh. And listen, you want to have amazing sex with your husband. You will have amazing sex. You can have.
I guess not everybody.
Because everybody does, but you can have.
Everybody really explore, really try.
Well, see, when
like,
it's sacred. Listen, when it's sacred and that thing is, it is blessed, it is ordained. You can explore and just have amazing sex for the rest of your marriage. But right now, we do not know that Marcus is the one. Marcus is doing his thing, right? Marcus is excellent in bed. That's what we know. And all of this is all about flesh. If you choose to go here and enjoy yourself and have an amazing time, know though that the ability to actually discern what is real becomes tougher and tougher and tougher. And you're actually setting yourself up also too to have some sexual preferences, right? So what she said is he is unlocking, which can be really dangerous, right? Because he's unlocking, and there's an episode where we even talk about reshaping. Yes, we go there, right? We talk about reshaping. Because Marcus is creating the key to Tanya, but only in one part of Tanya. Okay, so Tanya, Tanya's the only one that actually left her name. Oh no, we had Claudia before, Claudia too. But Tanya left her name. So listen, Marcus is doing his thing. Marcus is Marcus is laying it down, and all this way in which you feel is connected to what is happening in your body, but not necessarily in your heart, not necessarily in your mind. What type of man is he? What is his source of motivation? What is his purpose? How is it aligned with yours? Yep. And really, there is really only one question that needs to be asked. Praying to the Lord, is he the one that you have sent for me? And please be prepared.
That question always gets answered so fast.
And it's quick.
Fast.
And we don't always like the answer, right? We don't always like the answer. And particularly when we've given ourselves to a man, because of course we want that thing to work out. We've given our most precious gift, and he has unlocked and turned some keys and done some things, and hey, right? Yeah. Hey.
But I also think there's something to...
But don't get it twisted.
Just because all of that is happening, does not mean that he sees marriage.
No, Lord, no.
And yes, you've been with one other person besides Marcus, but that does not mean that is what Marcus also wants. And just because it's a beautiful experience and a fun time.
You know what else I will say? There is a theme here. Ladies, we need to ask the questions, right? Ask the questions that you are wondering in your mind. If you cannot ask those questions and get real answers, that's a problem, right? There's no need for guessing.
Yeah.
When a man is ready and when a man is about you in a very serious way, it is so clear and so easy. And listen, Marcus is enjoying himself too, right? He doesn't want that thing to come to an end. And so, right? But ask the tough questions. Don't be afraid, right? Like if you ask the question, or we're afraid to ask the question because we think he's going to run. So if he's going to run,
he's going to run,
let him run. Let him run.
At least.
And please don't chase him.
No.
Don't chase him.
Because also.
Please don't chase him.
It's okay that you want a husband. It's okay that
Correct.
you want to be married.
Absolutely.
And just because.
Absolutely.
If you ask Marcus these questions and he doesn't have the answer that you want, that's okay.
No, that means that Marcus is not your person.
No,
but see, what's happening right now is you don't want all this good sex to stop. Let's just tell it. Let's just say it for what it is.
Okay, that's fair.
Right? So we don't necessarily want to ask Marcus a question because we are enjoying Marcus and we're enjoying all the places that Marcus is exploring and unlocking.
Yes.
And so again, sex will keep you in some situations much longer, much longer than we should be.
But don't be afraid to ask the questions.
Ask the questions. Ask it. You already know the answer.
And if it's painful, that's okay. You call your mama.
Call your mama. And your mama will have some good stories for you. Trust me, we've all been there. We've all been there. But you already know the answer. You already know the answer. So I think you already know the answer. Listen, Marcus might surprise all of us, okay? But usually,
there's a way that a guy moves,
when he's ready, he is about you, he is for you, he is speaking about your future together. Unprovoked by you, right? You unsolicited. Like he is speaking life. He cannot imagine life without you in it. He is carving a future that includes you. And so, all this good stuff that's happening here, if that is not accompanying a future that is being articulated. And listen, we do not talk badly about men on this podcast. That's not what this is about. In fact, I am a real believer. Most of the time, men tell us exactly what they want.
They do.
And we don't necessarily listen, or we're looking at his actions. If he says, I'm not looking for anything too serious, but yet I talk to him every day, or I text him every day, or we hang out, like you can't imagine in your mind that we would spend any more time together, right? We talk all the time. We see each other, most on the weekends, maybe a couple times during the week. I work, he works. That's perfect. That's fine.
But if he's talking to you, only when it's convenient, that also
Listen, they want companionship, right? It doesn't make him a bad guy.
No.
Right? Like he can be a good guy.
It doesn't
They
make
want
him a bad
companionship,
guy.
and if we can have great sex as well, let's do that, right? And food and support and be there for each other and all of that. But that does not mean that he is still ready for something more serious. It does not. So we really have to listen to what they're actually saying, and ask the questions. Ask the questions.
And if they
there
don't
is
align,
you have no shot at a healthy marriage, a lifelong lasting marriage, if you cannot ask the real questions. So ask the questions. And if you are afraid to ask the questions, I'm sorry, baby, that's step number 1. That's your insight. That's the flag right there. If you are concerned about asking a question, you already know the answer. So you're asking me, is he my husband or is he just my lesson? You are having great sex. This message is all about sex. It is not about marriage.
The fact that it was questioned was written as, is he your lesson? You already know that he is your lesson. And you're hoping that he could be your husband.
Because that sex is like doing all the talking. It's doing all the talking. So sex does what it's supposed to do, which is to bind and blind a man and woman, but under the covenant of marriage.
And there's no judgment here. There's no judgment.
Nope. No shade and no shame.
What we are asking of you is to be comfortable having the uncomfortable moments.
Yes, conversations.
And
with yourself, with your mama, and in this case, with your partner. But talk to your mama. I'm sure she got some serious. So Tanya, we hope to hear back from you, but talk to your mom. I'm sure she's got some insights to share with you where you can hear. And sometimes, it's really powerful for women, for us to appreciate that other women are in similar situations.
Yeah.
Right? And to hear it and like, we're not alone and all this great feeling and right? Like it's intoxicating. Girl, we understand. I understand. But is he your husband or is he your lesson? I think he is an algebra lesson going on right up in here.
You think he's a what?
An algebra lesson.
An algebra lesson. Oh, okay.
He got all kind of formulas and he's putting them on her. So thank you, Tanya, for your question.
And write us back with.
Yes, let us know.
We want to know what happens when you ask this question.
Ask the question, ladies. Ask the questions. It's a part of like getting comfortable talking and having this conversation. Makes it more comfortable for you to ask the questions that you need to also ask in your relationships.
But we believe in you.
Yeah, you can do it.
You got this.
You can do it.
Ask the questions.
You can do it.
We're here for you. Your mom is here for you.
And we're here for you. So listen, if you need to call, be like, listen, I need to talk to somebody, or I'm about to call Marcus back. We got you. Okay. So DM us and we'll get on the phone with you. Seriously, we will get on the phone with you. I used to do all the time with her and her friends. Yeah. So.
Like 911.
Yeah.
We'd be like,
I'm like, oh Lord, what's happening? What's going on?
Thank you so much for sending in your DMs. Any of our other cookies would like to send DMs in, you can leave questions in the comments below. You can also send us DMs directly via Instagram. They're also in our highlight reel as well.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes. Our episodes are exclusively on YouTube.
All right. We'll see you. But until next time, keep your cookie in the cookie jar.
Bye.
Bye. Don't be afraid to keep your cookie in the cookie jar.